Man, this is a really good shot of your car. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Love what you drive. This is my friend Mike.
What's going on?
So this is the face behind this. Really cool Instagram presence.
Oh yeah.
Very original build.
Yeah, I could say that it's a very original.
Introduce yourself, man. What do you drive and who you are?
So I'm Mike. This is my 2011 Crown Victoria PI. I've had it for about 2 years. It started as a rough draft with my last car, and I didn't want to give up on having this.
Yeah.
And so I kind of wanted something that stood out from the rest, and wanted to make sure that even though I get all the smiles and waves, I'm still enjoying it myself. Smiles, you know, per gallon.
We're in Portland now, but where in Oregon are you from? I'm from
Eugene, but I've moved around a bunch, so I can say that I'm an Oregon native.
Yep.
I do, you know, my road trips every once in a while and try to get my mental map, figure out where everything's at. But I've moved everywhere. I'm here. Yeah,
your Instagram is really gives that Oregon vibes.
Yeah, I wanted to set aside of having something that kind of resembled Oregon itself as like kind of a pop culture kind of dealio. You know, you travel through Oregon, you see all the evergreen, and you see everything about it. Oregon is kind of a unique state from its you know, high desert to its mountain ranges to its coastal region. And I think for the lore, for the cryptology of Oregon in general, you know, we got a paranormal and cryptic, and the one thing that you see on every mommy missile and minivan and Jeep is Bigfoot. And I wanted to resemble that as a, you know what, this is that. This is kind of Oregon itself, or the Pacific Northwest. I kind of had the idea a couple years ago. Someone else gave me the idea as well, and I seen it, and I was like, you know what, I think I could do that too. And I wanted to kind of have my twists on it, and I was going to keep it simple, but then I had somebody tell me, he's like, you better just go big or go home, and you know, here it is.
So this mountain range, is that in Oregon, or is it just kind of like a generic? It's
a generic, but I actually, when I met up with my guys, Alex, Great White, we did this big road trip to Vegas a couple months ago, and funny enough, I was driving through Shasta, and there's a post somewhere on my page, and the mountain range actually looks very, very similar.
I saw that.
I thought that was pretty cool, and so I think Shasta, or any mountain range that is big and beautiful as it is, resembles, you know, I mean the evergreen. Everywhere you go, it's just, you see it.
So the stickers here say Bigfoot Research, but your Instagram,
it'd be Vicfoot.
Vicfoot Research. Yeah, that's very original, man.
I threw a poll at it about a year ago, when I actually got the car and kind of had the idea and the setup ready for it. And I did a poll on Instagram, you know, I was like, I need a new name. I need something that'll stand out. And funny enough, I came across doing some altercations to my name and something else, and out of all the poll options, somebody from out of state gave me that name.
Wow.
And I was like, you know what? I will take that. Out of any one else's options, I'm gonna take it. And it was Bigfoot, and that's everything.
Bigfoot Research. Yeah, it's very cool. All right, let's go here on the side. Let's start with the wheel. Okay, so you got the stickers.
Yeah.
Does the light bar work?
So the lights do actually work. It's a old school Code 3 MX 7000. It's got 5 rotators on top. I know I gotta kind of clean it up some more, and all the bugs don't help, but I redid the filters and wired up a bunch of stuff so that it can work again. I had to refurbish a little bit. And then the bottom set is an LED conversion from when I bought it from the guy that did. And then these filters are here for the alley sweepers. There's 2 flashbacks in the front, and then the takedowns. I threw filters there because I wanted to keep like an original theme, like all amber lighting.
Wow.
But that's kind of the signature piece that sits on top of this, the cherry on top.
Yeah, it definitely has a really good
it's
look to it.
Well,
you got to turn it on, man.
You
can still stay connected. There you go. Yeah, you got it. If you got it, you got to...
So it's old school rotators for sure. Oh,
that's so cool.
And at night, it's a lot better show.
Yeah, we got like straight up sun right now. How often do you turn these on?
I mean, I work construction here and there,
Yeah.
but it's more or less like every back road and whatnot. And it's just for looks, just something funny. And I wanted it something to commemorate the signature piece for the car in general.
Yeah.
And it's just powered by this. There's a switch box in there that just does its job. It's all fused and wired up the way it needs to be. And then I got hideaways too, but that kind of does its own thing through the taillights. So let's see the strobes. And then I wanted something, because I didn't want any lights to be kind of noticeable in dashes, but I went with a cheap set of hideaways to do the job, because to me it's kind of like a construction piece. I didn't want to do too much to it.
That's cool.
I'll end up upgrading them too, and probably adding to the package.
Yeah.
But right now it does its job and it looks funny
cool.
as.
Yeah, that's man. You got the lights and they work.
Oh yeah.
All right. If you want to turn them off or on, it's up to you.
I'll turn that top set off.
Yeah.
There we go. Hopefully
Okay.
power.
Now, what do we got running for your wheel setup? Because it's
so we're sitting at the standard, CBPI Steelies.
Yep.
And then we're on Fulken wall peaks. I had them on my last car, loved them, didn't want to change, and they do great in the snow and a little bit of gravel roads and everywhere I've gone. So I consider them trusted. I like them. They look great. I might even size up with them if I can, and in the future if I do a lift. And they're my go-to. So they look great. The wall looks great. The terrain the tread pattern looks great. So I like them.
Looks like you've been doing some off-roading.
Just a little bit, just a little bit there. Yeah.
Are they noisy on the road?
No. When they're new, they'll give it like a couple thousand miles of like, hey, they are new tires, but they end up smoothing out with a good alignment. And other than that, I like them. They set aside the small detail that I've done to the car, and I didn't want to shy away from just doing a standard street tire, because I was like, if I'm going off-road, or at least camping, or hitting every back road and Forest Service road to get the good, picture spots, or just kind of venture out. I wanted a tire that I can trust.
Yeah. And what size are those?
They are the standard 235, 55, 17s. So
very good fit, man.
I wanted to upgrade, but I definitely wanted to keep a stock size until I was ready enough to size up and do a lift. And
okay, so we're back here and I see some exhaust tips. Are you running stock exhaust?
So I got Flow SX XS's underneath. I had a buddy do them, so they're kind of there.
Yeah.
And then we're spitting out on 2.5-inch slanted tips for the exhaust tips, and that's kind of it. She's quiet, but when you go through tunnels and go through town, it gives a little bit of a grumble and rumble. So that's enough for me, instead of taking off the neighbors at 3 o'clock in the morning.
True.
Really?
Okay, this antenna, what is that?
So that's just powered to the CB. That's just a normal Fire Stick. It's a quick release.
Yeah.
Something simple.
So everything on here is like functioning. It's not...
I wasn't trying to be faux or do anything dumb, because I wanted to make sure it was legit. So, let me. That'll go on eventually. There you go. Yeah, and typical Fire Stick. I want to short down because clearance and whatnot, but it still does it. It still looks great. And on that, the lights, that's the only other functional part about the car, because I want to keep everything simple.
What is this?
So that's a little nub. So this is an old WSP car, Washington State. They ran a Freedom Liberty. It was like a big brick LED light bar.
Okay.
And they had all these wires that stuck out and basically plugged into the back of the light bar. And this is more old school than the actual era of this car in general, but I wanted to still resemble something I wanted to do.
Yeah.
But that's just what's left. It's kind of hard to patch at the moment.
Yeah,
but
so that side had it too, right? That's where the wires are coming?
So that wire is actually powering that light bar right there. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, interesting. I've never seen that. And that
That's just to cover a hole. The car came with a hole, no M&O mount, and I was like, I can't have leaky roof, so I slid an M&O mount in there, an adjustment, and then just threw that up there because it was kind of like a gift, and I didn't want to shy away from.
And that little Skeletor up there.
Yeah, just he waves in the wind. Woo.
Does his thing.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Let's go to the front, because in the front, I like those. I like the orange.
So this is kind of my favorite part of the car, at least one of the favorite parts. I found those fog lights from an old pickup. I still wanted something that resembled like an old school sheriff car.
Yeah.
But they have its use. They actually work, and they give a little more contrast during foggier, uneasy conditions. So they work. I mean, they're shoddy setup of wiring, but they're on there. They're sitting on the pre-existing Satina wrap lower end of the wrap or mounts on there. Yeah. So it works.
Cool.
And then my favorite part, actually, I mean, basically one of two, is the wraparound, the brush guard. It's an old school, or I want to say old school. If you're ever from the Pacific Northwest, Portland PD actually ran this setup for the longest time. They were known for it. I mean, Troutdale, Beaverton, Gresham, some of the agencies, some of the counties up north, and actually south too. I found like Santa Monica and somebody else ran this setup too. There's no exactly serial number or brand. They were all manual labor worked and prisoner guard. From what I understand, they were put together by prisoners and a mystery outfitter. I like the signature look because you don't find this setup instead of a standard like Satina, Ogre Rhino, and any other wraps. Yeah. But I wanted this. This was something that I wanted to stand out with, something I liked, and I had searched for like years when I had my other cars. And some kid that I found had it, and I didn't want to, give up on the opportunity and spent $40 on it, and I couldn't shy away from that.
Yeah, it's a very cool look.
The addition is just I do that expanded steel so that I can outmost put the plate on there and just give it a little more like detail because I didn't want to not take advantage of the creativity. So I'll end up getting it more reinforced. It's mounted underneath to the subframe and then hard bolted to the front, and I mean that's enough for me. And then the wraps, I know it's kind of shoddy now, but they're bolted, and then I gotta get slip joints for the frame and make sure it's all ready. But she looks great. She does what she needs to do, and the amount of brushes and stuff that I went through going through VADA, it handled every bit that I saw, and so all those tumbleweeds really had no idea what it was coming out for them. Yeah. I mean, since we're looking at the side too, stickers, but it was to resemble the build, and then the retroreflective amber and white go along the bottom, and as you've seen on the between the taillights too. So they shine, they do its thing. I did piece them together, but I know that I want to, in the near future, put a new revision on this, do a new scheme or a new livery, and give it a revamp or just add to it, because I mean she deserves it. But
Bigfoot Research 2.0.
Yeah, I mean 3.0. I mean This was, like I said, it was a rough draft with my last car because I had an 08 and I owned that for like 3 years, 2 years, and I had bought it for like $1,200, and it was at 125,000 miles, and I had it the duration time about like I said 3 years. It ended up dying at like 285,000 miles, and of course
pretty good run.
Oh yeah, it was something else, and I had started doing towards that move, that transgression of the way I wanted to have it look. But then when I got this, I was like, you know what, slapping everything on, I'm gonna rush this, get everything on and see where I'm at. And it was tires first, and then the headlights and taillights, because they were taken from another car and they were pretty spanking brand new from what I understand, and the brush guard went on, the lights went on, and I wanted something funny, something to stand out. But here we are. So
here we are. Let's go look under the hood.
Yeah, let's do it. It's a little dirty, but
hey, this is a back road, mountain, off-road car, right?
Yeah, she's got to have her.
She's not a trailer queen, and
I mean, she sits pretty in the driveway most of the time, and my neighbors get a little skepped out, and I've, side note, I've actually got weird mail, but you standard 4.6, You know, it's
the dust and the dirt
dust and the grime. Yeah. I mean, it's a rat's nest, but she surely does the job, and I can't shy away from taking it down any dirt road I see.
How many miles on this?
So we're sitting at almost 140, and
wow.
The 2 years ago that I did buy it, I bought it from a buddy of mine, and it sat under a tree for about a year before they picked it up from an auction, and then from the auction it sat forever, and it's been cleaned a couple times, but I just can't stay away from not getting it dirty. Mileage, 140 now, and when I bought it 2 years ago, it was just shy of 90,000 miles.
Okay.
So I've definitely done a couple road trips, toured around Oregon, and then my Vegas trip with Great White and a couple of other guys and Ghost, and that really stacked a good like 4,000 miles. And
is that the original intake manifold?
That is the original intake manifold, actually. So new water pump, unfortunately. I mean, I had to put a new one in because it overheated and I was troubling some problems. New radiator fan because I wasn't going to shy away from knocking out an issue. And then I had recently done a whole fluid flush because I didn't want to, miss anything. So it's dirty, but it still gets the job done. There's no leaks, no bumps, no nothing. So I can't say that you can never find a more reliable car at this point. So
I noticed the grill piece here.
Oh, so this is a little Easter egg, if anybody knows. It's from I think about a 2006 Taurus. And it's a kind of like one of their upper trim models, and this is just sandwiched with the original Ford emblem for this original grill, and then it's just backed with 2 screws for the old Taurus thing. And I wanted something else. I was not a fan of just the standard black honeycomb, and I like a little chrome. As you've seen around the car a little bit.
Little hubcaps.
The hubcaps, the spotlight, the taillights, and the fascia. Like, I definitely wanted something to kind of stay away from just standard black grille, but
it's a cool touch. I saw that. I'm like, wait, that's
it's a little interesting.
I knew it was a Taurus.
I had it for my last car, and I got a hold of a guy years ago, and if he's still floating around on Instagram, it'd be Riley Auto Works, I believe. He was auctioning off, or basically raffling off, a bunch of these. And there's a few other cruisers out there that have this grill, which is kind of cool. It's a little Easter egg to me that I'm probably one of a few cars in his car that still have it or still rock it, because I'm ever so proud of it. He was like, I talked him up about it, and I was like, that's really cool. I loved his work. I loved his auto stuff. His custom work was amazing and pretty unique. And he's like, you know what, I'll throw your name in a hat and see if you win it. And what do you know, I won the bid, and he mailed it to me as soon as I won, and as soon as I got in the mail, it went on my last car.
Super cool.
And now it's on this car. So any other car that I have, if nothing happens to it,
it'll continue the journey.
Continue the legacy for sure.
Cool. All right.
Yeah, let's.
Any future plans of performance? Any crazy ideas or?
I think I'm just gonna keep. It's pretty standard. I know that as long as she's still running, as long as I'm still giving it quote unquote top grade maintenance, then I'm gonna keep making sure the longevity still stands out. I give her as much treatment as I can from fluids and additives, so I mean, she still runs smooth. She still does what she needs to do. So
I love the dirt, man. It definitely it fits, man.
Hey, I gotta know if I have a leak somewhere. So
go ahead and shut it.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Next order of business.
Junk in the trunk.
Junk in the trunk.
Junk in the trunk. All right.
I like these ones because we see.
Oh no.
We see all about you.
Oh no! Here's the long Brevail. So it is shoddy. You can judge me all you want.
Wow, there's the.
So, extra cones for roadside, shovel, cot, tent. Your 5-gallon that I've ran out of gas quite a few times. Extra bedding, random nuts and bolts and equipment that I've had to use throughout with the car, and then. It's kind of it. There's flags and some other tools down here, some tow straps, chains, because I really had to find out later, and then an air pump, and that's kind of it. And then I was able to snag this police equipment insert for like $20, not even $20 at a junkyard, and I found 2 of them in the same week.
And so useful, huh?
instead of everything sliding around, it definitely is helpful. And you spare. What's left of this pull-out tray here is kind of messy.
Oh yeah, I see it.
That used to power the original light bar, so it was a half fuse relay, whatever they added to do with it. So I mean, it's what's left. But.
Yeah, this is junk in the trunk, but it's all like this is your lifestyle, bro. Like it fit, like all the dust coming out. That's so cool. I'm kind of appalled. Yeah, dude. It's all being used. It's all on the trails.
I'm a little bit appalled at the fact that I can't figure out how to seal this trunk and the back space, because every dirt road is an utter nightmare. Yeah. One dirt road or for 5 minutes just picking up a little bit of dust, my car is tan. No black, just tan. So
nice little dust covering.
Oh yeah. And then as you were panning up here, just chair, sleeping bag, and then all my stickers. I mean, I don't want to shy away from, who doesn't like stickers? Yeah. But anything that's resembled Bigfoot, everywhere I've gone. That was a recent meme. We went up to Leavenworth, Bigfoot Research Center that I technically quote unquote sponsor, and those guys there are amazing. They've let me kind of kick off with the idea with it too. A mate that I met back in Cali, or we did the Gambler recently early in the summer, and then so forth and so forth. It's just the lore that kind of comes in, ties in together. When we took our trip to Vegas with Ghost and Great White, I kind of made a few stops along the way, and it speaks for itself. I'm not going to stop. I'm hoping by the end of the life of the car, I have this all figured out.
Boring. Yeah. That's where I lived for a year and a half.
So this is where that place is at, where that bumper sticker comes from, where all this the original idea does kind of come from. Yeah. It definitely was, I kind of gave them the idea, and they were like, yeah, go for it. We won't say anything. I think it'll be funny as heck if you go forth with it, because it kind of rocks. So
so this car definitely has a special place for me, because I've been in Oregon for a year and a half. My life was changed out here, boring. Yeah. So when I saw this, I'm like, such a Pacific Northwest Oregon car. You just can't go wrong. So
I've passed through boring quite a few times, and
it's boring. There's nothing there.
There's nothing there. You go over the highway 224 and then get into Sandy, and that is it. You bypass it. Yeah. There's a Chevron, a pizzeria, a bar, and that little research center.
The golf course.
And the golf course.
I live by the golf course.
Yeah, and that's kind of it. Yeah.
Cool.
So that's kind of it with this. It resembles, and quotes, junk in the trunk.
Yep.
So.
Yep. That's a really useful junk in there, and it's.
I could say that it's been useful, because cones, I've definitely used that quite a few times, and then the shovel, our past winter expense or event, really, that really helped me get out of places, and really help other people get out of places too. So.
Okay, go ahead. You can close that up.
Trunk in the trunk.
All right. Okay. That was junk in the trunk. Let's go look at the interior.
Oh my.
Let's look at the cockpit. Let's look at all the creature comforts. So
we'll kind of just show it from this angle for now, I guess.
Oh, it's clean. It's probably the cleanest thing on there.
I just cleaned it. No. I've kept it fairly clean as much as I could. I do like the standard black on black. Don't get me wrong, but I do want to change that seat to leather or something a little nicer. I want to add to the interior, change out this steering wheel, because I recently got this wood grain from, I think, an LX. Yeah. And I've seen the Lincoln Town cars have that wood grain top. Yeah. And I think it would be really nice if I actually ended up doing it that way.
That would be really cool.
Yeah. And then Judo just top console, it kind of does its job, more a little cubby hole, and then I'll fill it in more, but it's got the a Uniden 520XL CB, hence what you saw on the trunk lid. That's kind of what powers that, and then a Federal Signal switch box. That kind of powers the lights for now, and it works great. And had to do a little work and wiring and soldering for that to make sure it works. And then I was able to find the faceplate eventually, and now it works. So,
inside here, it's a little different than the outside. It's like, very clean, standard. I'm sure it gets dirty, but
oh yeah,
it's
It's not totally wrecked.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's like totally different.
When I did buy the car, none of anything came with the car on the car. Like, it was a very plain Jane, nothing to it. Even the spotlight wasn't even in the car.
Oh, wow. Just a white Vic, huh?
Just a white Vic with a hole in it, and I had to change it, or I wanted to fill this because I didn't want it to leak. The car washers kind of sucked, and it was another nightmare. But that was the first thing to go in, and so then the trim was kind of hard to find. It was a lucky find, and some guy out in like Connecticut mailed it out to me because
Connecticut?
Yeah, dude, I couldn't find it, and every junkyard usually was already ransacked to find something. And I want to do the dark cards too. I want to get that wood grain and where the buttons are and whatnot, and probably switch these out. But if these can just pull out, I love to keep these cards in general.
So you got power seats?
Yeah, I got power seats. So they do
power windows. Yeah, wow. Power door locks, power windows.
Standard.
Wow.
And this is for like between like from anywhere from I'll say like 2005 to 2008, I believe, or 2009. They had the standard switchback for the mirror, but this for the 9, 10, and 11, they had this turn dial
knob,
and then you can just basically joystick it around.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, cool features on the Crown Vics. I think have so much different features from one to another.
It's slight differences from what I've seen, and especially with the past Vics that I've owned personally. Yeah. I've owned a 04, and that was my first ever car. How I started was in a Grand Marquis.
Okay.
And I just fell in love instantly, and I couldn't shy away from having something that was useful, big enough. I mean, I'm a small guy, but I need the room.
Yeah.
And I loved my uncle's car. That's what I drove. And for the main time, it did its job. And then I was like, you know what? It'd be cool to own a cop car. And it'd be cool to own a little bit of something that I was used to driving and how I started. And I haven't changed ever since. And I went from my 04 and then I found an 01 to kind of spin around in my parents' backyard, and then and then I had my last car, my 08, and I was like, I'm not done.
Yeah.
But it blew up.
Yeah. And
then I found this one, and I've been trying so hard to take care of it, and even the subtle details, even the subtle features. I mean, I don't want to shy away from actually treating myself to putting something together with it. So, and then if you're looking up there, it's got some goodies and some patches and stuff.
I gotta check the cop light.
Yeah. That's a sound off a ticket light. So the standard that are more bubbly and protruding out, that's more slim versus all the other models that you see in a lot of other cars.
That's true, yeah.
And standard top roof lining and everything. So, LED. Okay.
Cool. Let's go back seat.
Probably do the other side, that's a little cleaner. Because it's more junk right there behind the seat.
Yeah.
So, these are kind of a rarity window bars. I got it from a buddy of mine. He was able to kind of salvage them from Cali, and from one Vic to another, I didn't want to have something a little unique. I wanted something that was a little more unique, and on they went. And unfortunately, don't fit to the standard Satina partition, so that these guards, the clear pieces to kind of keep a prisoner back there, are not back there. Mm-hmm. But it's kind of half in there. I kept the roll cage, or I put the roll cage in there put the partition back there because it's a roll cage to me. Because if something ever did happen, I still want my side to be protected, or if something happened to roll over, someone sight light me, or I still want some protection. These, I know it's so dirty, but these seats are not your standard leather. They're more or less of a I found them from an 05. Some guy in Yelm was selling them at a marked cruiser up there. And tough. Yeah, they're like a leather, like the leather standard ones that are usually issued to cars if they're decommissioned. But this one is more smooth, no embroidery, and I mean it's a little more gray blue, but it does the job.
And I
but I wanted something in between because I was tired of the cloth because it was getting more ruined, and the leather's a little more, to me, it's a little more easier to clean.
Clean, yeah.
Kind of viewing back there, that's a little Federal Signal Duo that I kind of rewired for brake light because I wanted a little more visibility. And it works. It's awesome. And the auto additions back brace, back mounting bar that you rarely can't find from what I understand. I've just kept that from my last car, and I didn't want to shy away from using it ever again. So
there's where the seatbelt was. There's these.
They're still behind there. That's kind of a rain.
What is that little plug?
So yeah, they covered them. So when they put this whole seat back here, they just smacked that in there, covered everything up, and then put the whole standard actual prisoner seat back there with all the original belts, or the belts that came with the tough seat and
yeah, so they have all these little accessories to cover up or do whatever.
Funny enough, when I did get the car, WSP did a weird thing, lazy thing, I think. Typically, when it comes to these doors that don't open from the inside, all WSP did was stick a little screw in here and basically...
They just jammed it up?
Yeah, they just jammed it, flipped it up. So I can sit in here now as a funny haha. And I can sit in here and show you if it still opens, because that's the funny thing. Most of these that are usually ex-cop cars don't.
They don't, yeah.
So,
now you're free to run.
Oh no! Yep, that still opens pretty good. But standard, I still wanted to keep it clean and whatnot. But that's a back seat. I mean, I've slept back there quite a few times, and it's still pretty comfortable. Versus the plastic. I mean, I don't want to deal with that. But and then the stickers just don't stop.
The stickers don't. Don't stop.
Some gambler stuff, some pop culture, some things that I've just come across, and kind of it. I mean, I'm gonna probably redo it too. So
wow, man, this car's definitely a cool car, man.
Oh yeah, I wanted detail. I didn't want a plain Jane car. I didn't want to shy away from a little bit of originality. And I mean, it already stands out. But I enjoy it.
Cars and Coffee, car shows.
There's a Cars and Coffee at Langers in Sherwood. It's called Portland's Car and Coffee. And I go every once in a while when I can make time. And it's more or less, if it sits off to the side, it's kind of one of those funny, you're walking through every car and you're like, whoa, what's that? Bigfoot research. So it's just, I go. There's some meets and car shows and car coffees and whatnot I'll do. I know some people up in Seattle. They do a Christmas parade with their retired cars and whatnot, and I have the lucky opportunity to go up there and participate. And it's funny enough, for Christmas time, you see all the lights going, but then you see this, and it's the addition to, having a little fun, and especially for that end, it's making kids happy to see all Santa coming in a one way of a sleigh. So, but
man. Thank you so much. Any last words for people, viewers, enthusiasts?
If you own a Vic, don't stop. Don't stop the itch, because it never stops. I love the car. I love the car enough as it is. If you find yourself one, don't be afraid to spend the money, but do your research. And other than that, have your fun with it. So,
cool. Mike, thank you so much, bro.
Oh, it's a pleasure. It was great meeting you. Finally met after months. I had talked about it and wanted to make sure that, even if there's a few Vics here, I wanted to make sure that you still had a warm welcome here.
Thank you. So. It's definitely a few Vics, but they're special. Special builds.
Indeed.
Cool, man. Thank you so much, and we'll see you guys in the next video.
No problem.